We're super proud of the work that we're doing in the sustainability space. We've been spending a lot of time to look at what really are the challenges that our members are facing. How can we create a more sustainable future for our members? And it's really in recognizing our role in the sustainability value chain. We can think more holistically about social, environmental, and economic issues. We can bring all of those things together in a more sustainable, long-term way that creates equity, prosperity, and resilience for our members. And that's really what we are after. That as a pension fund, we've got specific tools in our toolbox, but it certainly also is about having the policy to steer how we make investment decisions from a societal perspective. Do we think about gender? Do we think about race? Do we think about equality in how we award assets? From a transformation perspective, we then said that we want to tackle transformation and racial equality on 3 different fronts. We want to make sure where we place assets in the economy and in the fund management industry specifically. We want to make sure that we give favor and give preference to fund managers themselves that are black-owned businesses. We want to make sure that we promote them playing a more equal role in the economy. From a women perspective, we certainly over the last few years already have highlighted the need and the plight for women to play a more significant role in our industry and also within our country. From a biodiversity and an environmental perspective, we wanted to make sure that we don't just think about sustaining the current here and now and making sure that everything's okay for now. We realized that approach, and really a traditional investment management approach, actually doesn't recognize the urgency of the challenges that we are facing. The urgency of the impact that climate change will, for instance, have on the African continent. And to that extent, we said that we want to have a regeneration focus. We want to make sure that we think about climate, that we think about biodiversity from a regeneration perspective. What more can we do to not only sustain, but to continue contributing to our environment?
The fund's approach to sustainability has a very long-standing history. What has happened over the years, though, is that the approach has been refined, taking into account best practice and new approaches as they emerge. The fund was one of the first asset owners in the country to sign up to the United Nations Principles for Responsible Investing.
As a 75-year-old fund, we are one of the largest funds, a responsible investor at this point in time. We have those sustainability goals, we have the impact goals, we have some targets in place, we have some good decision making that's coming out of it. When we understand that we're framing a world that leads us in the direction of being innovators and leaders in this space.
And therefore, our outlook in the way in which we do things has to be long-term, has to be sustainable, because ours is not only for today, but for tomorrow and beyond. Not only are financial returns important, but also what the impact will make on the environment.
Under the economic factors, we identify climate change as one of the very key factors that need urgent attention from the fund, from the investment fraternity globally. And as such, the fund became members of the Net Zero Asset Owners Alliance in 2023. It is a member-led initiative of asset owners. These asset owners have taken a stance to commit to reducing the carbon emissions in the investment portfolios to reach net zero by 2050, because it keeps us accountable to the investment industry, accountable to our members, and more importantly, accountable to ourselves.
The crux of all of this is the risk management, and also the way in which we approach sustainability from a fund point of view is that it is both bottom-up and a top-down imperative. And so you need a robust and reasonable governance process to make sure that these things take place and that everyone buys into what you are driving. And so from a governance point of view, from an assurance point of view, we have to do the work that gives assurance to those charged with governance, to our members, that what it is that we talk about, that we do, in fact we are doing. And so our assurance partners, whether it's our auditors or our actuaries or our teams in risk management or in legal, have to make sure that they provide that assurance. And so we believe that we are that important role player in the overall value chain.
If you look at the success, we have this initiative that ensures that we bring in incubators that we provide monies to enable them to grow, but at the same time to show us those returns. And that is why, as part of the strategic objectives that we have on the table, is addressing sustainability.
We've grown over the years, over 200 billion rands now. I'm very excited about our social policy. I'm very excited about our investment strategy, and the way in which we're looking at investing, taking into account and being mindful of sustainability.
And we all can really make a meaningful difference, but we have to work together, we have to collaborate, we have to recognize our own role. And that's why we're excited, because we really have set the bar quite high for ourselves in terms of what we want to achieve. But we're excited to get there.